Well, hello and welcome and good evening and hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Poco Moss. It is a very special After Dark weekend edition. We are talking about one of the worst penny stocks I've ever invested in my entire life. Of course, we're talking about Jaguar Health, ticker symbol JAGX, talking to my fellow Jagoffs, my fellow Jaggies, my fellow turds, my fellow losers, my fellow dreamers, my fellow gamblers, my fellow I'm going to buy a few lottery tickets and just see what happens type of investors that don't want to catch a falling knife. They want to jump under the falling knife and have it stab them right in both testicles. That's just the experience of being a JAGX investor. There was a time when what's going on, Oprah's Wet Cave? How's it going, Beach Boy? I don't know, guys. I just this stock ran really hard on Friday, and a lot of people are asking me, you know, should I go ahead and get into the stock? The answer is absolutely not. I see people talking about this thing, if they get positive P3 news for the cancer related indication, um, that the stock is going to 1000x or 500x. I think people need to get their head out of the clouds and kind of realize what the share structure is for this thing, realize the history of the stock, the structure of the debt, and the realities of this market. I mean, I'm still holding my shares. I just didn't see any point in getting out of my shares. And I always say with penny stocks, the only way to play these things is to start out small, and then you try to find the bottom after the dilution, after the reverse splits. If you can find the bottom and buy a lot down there, and really average your position down, sometimes you can do all right. Now, 9 out of 10 of these things, you're going to lose your money. Should anyone ever buy them? Absolutely not. But if you're going to buy penny stocks and you're a complete degenerate herd, such as myself, perhaps a toper, perhaps not, perhaps you're at a healthy weight. But anyway, guys, want to say welcome and hello. It's Poco Moss. I try to give you a little bit more, but tonight I'm giving you quite a bit less. We are talking JAGX. This is the diarrhea company, the diarrhea drug, and the stock smells like poop. CEO Lisa, again, if you do like if you go back in time to like 2015 or whenever this turd went public, the share price would have fallen from like $1.6 million down to its current level at just under 9 cents. And keep in mind, the stock is sitting after hours right around 10 cents, and that's after a 63% move. So, um, quite a 1 day move, and that's got a lot of eyeballs back on the stock. The history of this thing is just quite extraordinary. Basically, this is a substance that is derived from the sap or latex of a tree in the rainforest in South America, and the natives there and other people there have known and used this particular substance for a couple of centuries for wound care, as an antiseptic, and in particular, there's one chemical in there that's supposed to be incredibly effective fighting diarrhea in all its forms. And obviously, in the developing world, that can be an even bigger problem than it is here in the first world. But um, this drug was approved under the name Mytesi for the treatment of diarrhea associated with treatments for HIV. And they used to sell sometimes, I think, 10 million or so. But like I said, thankfully, the treatments for HIV are not, they don't have nearly the level of side effects that they used to. Now they can treat most people with one pill. There's not all the horrible side effects. So that market, like I said, thankfully and wonderfully has kind of dried up because of just a lot of advancement in the treatment of HIV disease. But this is kind of the holy grail. This is what they're shooting for. CEO Lisa would say this is going to be transformative. for your portfolio or whatever. She's said that so many times, but just to give you, and I know those of you that are here have absolutely no lives. Your lives are already very poopy. There's probably a bad smell in your bachelor apartment right now. Things just haven't gone right for you. If you're watching this video, things certainly haven't gone right for you if you've been stupid enough to buy this stock, as I have. But that's life, guys. You can't go back in time. All you can do right now, you can't say, hey, my shares have gone from 1.6 million to 10 cents. Boo, boo. Call a ambulance, guys. You're big boys. You invest in this. You see the same thing happen over and over again. You see CEO Lisa absolutely burning cash like a fucking money incinerator. And you continue to average down. You continue to buy the shares. I remember the Gates Foundation was talking about this years ago, and someone, they keep rehashing this quote, but it was like, if this thing gets approved and if this thing gets distributed, could be one of the most widely distributed, widely used substances on Earth, because we don't think about it maybe in the United States or Western Europe, but in other places, there are diseases that diarrhea is one of the main problems, because you may not die of the disease itself, but what gets you is the dehydration and sort of the secondary effects. So if this substance, relatively inexpensively can alleviate that, and it's extremely effective. It's already been shown. They did studies with HIV, they did studies with breast cancer patients. Everybody knows this thing works. And I don't think even the bears, I mean, who say this stock is absolute garbage, and they're absolutely right, and the management is in garbage, it's been fist, but that doesn't mean they can't get this thing to market. You know, just because something is a massive turd doesn't mean you can't polish it up and sell it to somebody even a little bit stupider than you. If you can find somebody sitting on a bus bench, look for somebody that looks like Forrest Gump, look for somebody that cuts their own hair, look for somebody wearing two different socks. Look for somebody going into a liquor store with no shirt on. You know, look for somebody living out of a disposable foam cooler. There's a lot of things you can look for when trying to track down a JAGX investor. But Friday, guys, this thing turned over almost 300 million shares. There's only 50 million shares, so turned over the float. Not yeah, turned over the share count 6 times. I just don't know what to make of it. Hello, my name is Cave, Oprah's Wet Cave. Hello, DC Lights Out. 10X, Beach Boy, I'd be happy to talk 10X. Let me know what you want to talk about that turd. That thing moved up like 10% on Friday, but that 10X, I have never seen management and those turds at Roth Capital do a rug pull. That was just epic. I mean, they pumped out good PR. Um, and then they pumped the price up to like 15 cents, got retail buying in, and then overnight, dropped the news on the offering that it was going to be warrants and shares at like five. I just, why would you? They intentionally killed the stock. I mean, let's face it, Roth is rating the stock, these high ratings. It's totally crooked. I just, that was purely designed as a shock and awe campaign to absolutely destroy retail investors. Um, and anyway, guys, hello and welcome, welcome and hello. So I just want to go over this turd. Crofelemer is the substance. Trade name is Mytesi. Again, it was approved in 2012 for adult patients with HIV/AIDS. Other possible uses include diarrhea in children, acute infectious diarrhea, diarrhea in patients with IBS. It is a purified, and when I start getting into chemistry terms, guys, it gets very ugly. Oligomeric proanthacin. I won't even try. They call it dragon's blood. It's the sap of the South American tree, Croton lecheri. You can see its chemical structure there. Lots of OHs, lots of H's and O's, a few R's. Looks like maybe some covalent bonds. I don't really know, but anyway, you can see what it is. Basically, it's a purified sap of this tree, to put it, very simply. And what Napo did is they're getting it through FDA trials so physicians can prescribe it to their cancer patients. And I've gone over this in previous videos. I basically stopped covering the stock because nobody wanted to hear about it. Nobody was watching the videos. All people did was comment on my weight issues and my, gray hair or whatever, my horrible sense of humor. People had a lot to say, but nothing was about this stock. It was mostly just general personal attacks on yours truly, Danny Deals. And frankly, I don't have to put up with that kind of thing, and I personally like it because I like to mix it up a little bit. But hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Moss. I do apologize to most of you who probably want to talk about SoFi, but there's about 800 turds covering SoFi. We've done SoFi to absolute death, and a lot of people were asking me, "Hey, you should throw out a JAGX video." So this is that video. But okay, guys, the great part about this thing is there is no real bad side effects. The only side effects were mild gastrointestinal effects at the same level as placebo. So that's basically nothing. You're basically saying I have a mildly upset stomach at the same level as a sugar pill or whatever, or water pill. So the most common, there's basically no side effects to this thing, and it works, and that's why I think it's going to be very popular with physicians because it does the job. These other things they give people like opiates, they have all kinds of side effects. They're not good. People are like, oh, you can already get drugs for this. Yeah, you can, but there's plenty of reasons doctors and patients hate those drugs. And the statistics on people modifying or stopping their cancer treatments because of diarrhea are very shocking. People get to a point sometimes with the diarrhea where it's like they would rather just let the cancer take its course than have their insides ripped out by the drugs that they're on to try to cure the cancer. So this is very, very important. And I think people like myself who are dumb and who make light of it are very, very short-sighted. Just because a company has done very poorly in terms of fiscal management, in terms of burning money, in terms of diluting shareholders, all of these things, it doesn't mean they can't get to the finish line. I think it is extremely, extremely likely the FDA is going to approve this thing. There's just I don't see any reason why they would. The safety, the efficacy is there. They've already been using it for, like, say, 12 years now for the HIV indication. It works. You have breast cancer doctors saying it works. You have, all these indications they've been testing it for through Napo. So I just don't see any. The question is not whether it can get approved, whether it works. The question is what is the commercial viability of this thing? Obviously, the HIV indication has not done well for of late for the purpose, for the reasons that we discussed earlier. But this thing could be the cancer market is huge, and a huge, huge percentage of cancer patients are affected with diarrhea, and it puts a hell of a lot of them back in the hospital. And studies have shown that this substance can cut down on hospitalizations dramatically. So not only does it keep patients on their cancer medications, this is all in theory. Obviously, it hasn't hit the market widely yet. And one of the other criticisms, hey, this is just a supplement. It's already available in certain health food stores. You know, that is completely beside the point and a red herring argument because physicians don't say, hey, go down to a health food store while you're on chemo and just buy whatever dose you can find from whatever brand you can find that's not certified, it's not pure, it's not tested by the FDA, it's not regulated. And by the way, I'm your doctor, but just go, fend for yourself at a GNC or something. That's not going to happen. This is a new thing. This is a holistic company. Just because it's a natural substance that's been used for a long time doesn't mean you can't get FDA approval and sell the damn thing through pharmacies by prescriptions because physicians are looking for another solution, guys. You know. So, history of crude plant latex, dragon's blood, and crofelemer. You guys can go through and read this if you so choose, if you really, really have no life. But it goes through the chemistry of it. It goes through, the HIV indication. It goes through how natives used it. Crofelemer has also been shown to improve abdominal pain and discomfort in patients with diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. So there's all these other like rare indications that they're working on through Napo. They're working to get one of those, orphan drug vouchers, which can be worth quite a bit of money. That hasn't come through, but they had some, agreements to license this with a couple companies, Glenmark and Salix. And they sued and terminated. This is many, many years ago. This company's been around. Um, quite a while. And anyway, so it is manufactured by Glenmark, 125 milligram delayed release tablets, Patheon, etc. If you look at the chart, for basically, I think what is this, a 6 month chart, you see the downtrend is absolutely unmistakable from 40 cents. You see this thing that looks like these two giant asymmetrical butt cheeks with the giant butt crack coming here at week 45 of 2023. And then the downtrend continues, and we found ourselves dropping all the way down to just right around 5 cents. The only thing you can say about this stock, where's the bottom? It probably won't go below zero, probably. And that's the best goddamn thing you could say about it. So, oh, guys, ads for Vistaprint leather bomber jackets. This shows you the stock split list. So in June of 2018, hey, Catfish, I'm talking about JAGX, Jaguar Health Incorporated. It is a stock that is literally about diarrhea. um, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about, catfish. There's no song that's gonna make this thing any better. Diarrhea, diarrhea. This just doesn't have a ring to it. What's going on, guys? Hello and welcome. Hi, Flint Creek. So Kai Dark Master. Who else is here joining us today? This is UBV. I just got here. What's going on? I told them all to have their sold orders GTC up 99. I need to get into this one. Do not get into this one, guys. Nobody buy this stock. It is absolute poop. So guys, in 2018, they did a 15 for one. In 2019, they followed that up with a 70 for one split. And then in 2021, they did a 1 for 3, just a little tester, little teaser split. And then again in January 2023, 75 for one reverse split. And in that period of just over a year, they've taken this turd all the way back down from I don't know where it was back then, a couple bucks, all the way back down to 5 cents, and then we've had a major pop up to 10 cents on volume. So what's going to happen with this turd? What has been happening with this turd? Um, Basically, what happened is we're in P3. It's of course being outsourced because management is grossly incompetent, just has absolutely no fucking clue what they're doing, how to run a company, probably can't tie their own shoes. I think mostly what CEO Lisa could do is like take Instagram pictures of her beautiful Christmas tree with all her fucking gifts there. It would have been bought with all of our goddamn losses because we're stupid pikers and we don't know any better and we feed CEO Lisa money. Like she's a baby chick and we're regurgitating food and we're like her mama bird flying back to the nest with like a dead rat or some berries or whatever the fuck birds do. But anyway, guys, that's neither here nor there. I have to say I am digressing, but let's just take a look at this stock because it's a complete piece of shit, but I own it and you might too. Hopefully you don't. But a lot of the discrepancy, guys, is step away from JAGX. Yeah, Catfish is absolutely right. This thing is a complete turd. But well, caught the live stream, but it is about SoFi. Yeah, champion of excuses. I've done so many SoFi live streams, but happy to talk about SoFi if you have anything specific. I don't need my pages open. I have encyclopedic knowledge of every data point that is even hardly concerning SoFi. As you know, Anthony Noto, CEO of SoFi, is my biological father. He has not acknowledged that fact low these many years, but I think someday he's going to come around. I think I'm gonna win his love and affection if I make enough horrible SoFi videos and just drone on and on and on. Catfish 10x. There was a real rug pull on that one. Fell through. They've been doing so many good things. They just secured worldwide distribution. They have 3 patents that are just airtight. The P3, they're ready to enroll. They just raised a little bit of money. It was horrible money. If you can get in like, at these levels and you haven't put any money in this stock, it might be worth a flyer. I would personally recommend that nobody really buy penny stocks unless you kind of expect to lose your money and expect unless you just put in a very small amount of money and then try to average down a little bit, catch the pop. very few penny stocks are good fundamental investments. There's one I really like called UBX. I love the fundamentals of 10x in terms of the drug levosimendan and what that drug can do and what the sales could be. Now, whether 10x can get a partner, get the money to bring that P3 home, I thought it would go a lot better than this. I mean, their medical guy, Dr. Stuart Rich, who was owned a company that they bought out, and he's basically the medical director and executive with 10x. He was on the FDA committee that approved these types of drugs for pulmonary hypertension, anything in that cardiac space. He was on that FDA committee that approved these drugs for years. So he's an insider's insider. I thought they would do a lot better. I thought they'd be able to strike a deal, but it becomes clear that when you're dealing with Roth Capital, who's made absolutely two horrible, horrible, horrible deals for 10x. They're working with certain hedge funds. You can basically tell what's going on. That last thing was a coordinated hit job, a rug pull. Um, Sold at pre-market, same day I bought 1150. Wow. That's nice, Catfish. That's some sweet action. Yeah, I mean, Catfish, when I basically the thing popped from, I think it was 15 cents to 64, 68 cents. I dumped half my shares at the very top. So I'm doing pretty well. I'm playing with house money now on 10x. On Jaguar, I'm way down. I mean, every Jaguar investor is way down. I think I'm down almost 70%. I don't have a ton of shares, but so what, guys? That's penny stocks. Like I said, 9 out of 10 of them, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. You're gonna get bent over a barrel and shown the 50 states, and it's just the way it is. It's Chris Norland. I'm one of my favorite debunking you know sort of one of these guys that does the debunks us U-turders and tells you how bad penny stocks are and how we're crypto pumpers and douchebags and we're all trying to sell you some bullshit just to enrich ourselves without any validity. And most of the time he's right, but he says penny stocks, it's just a lottery ticket. One very, very few of them will pop and go to the moon, and then the vast majority of them are going to go to zero, or you're going to lose all your money because of dilution, reverse split, that sort of toilet bowl death cycle that a lot of these get in. But you just have to play them like catfishes. You have to sell the pops. You have to take profits because that's what these hedge funds are doing. But like, how can they buy all these shares from these offerings if they're going to make the company worthless? Well, they short it down. They make money shorting it. They make money with options. They just make money a bunch of different ways. And then when it pops, when it pumps, they know when it's going to pump. They sell, they dump it at the top, and then they buy it back even lower. So they can just rinse and repeat and just continue to take money from dumb, weak, stupid retail investors such as yourselves that buy on FOMO and then sell on fear, and then basically they buy the rip. No, they sell the dip and they smell the rip. Because that's what most retail investors do, because most of you guys are just weak and stupid and emotional, and you shouldn't trade these stocks, guys. You shouldn't trade the stocks. If losses bother you, paper stock, Catfish like day trades. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, I totally agree, Flint Creek. They usually suck, but it can be fun. I mean, if you're a gambler, you're somebody who likes sports betting, you're somebody who likes, whatever it is, roulette, or it's kind of a similar thing, but I think there's a certain amount of skill. I look at a lot of penny stocks and I reject like 95, 90, probably 99% of them I don't put any money into. Just because I think they don't have anything on the merits. It's just a flat out scam. It's just a flat out stock scam. Some companies actually have legitimate products. I think Jaguar Health could be one of those companies. Remember, they have been selling this FDA approved thing for 12 years, so there's something to it, but can it get a wider commercial market? Every indication is that with cancer, it's a huge market, and they are going to be able to reach that market a lot more effectively because there are doctors on board. There are, certain, people that carry a lot of influence on board with this drug already. But anyway, guys, LTNC went down like 99%. Suddenly that's how these things go. And if you grabbed it right after, see, that's the thing that happened with 10x. People are like, okay, everybody's crying about the offering at $5.65. But then the point of what I always say is, okay, you hold it. You just got cut you just got your equity cut by like 75% by this horrible dilutive event. But what always happens? The hedge funds bought the offering at $5.65, and all of a sudden the stock falls down to the 390s. So you can buy way lower than the hedge funds. The difference is they're going to start shorting the stock probably again. Sometimes it does find a bottom, but the bottoms can be very elusive on these things. You'll often hear yourself saying something like, well, how could it go any lower than this? It just went down like 99. Listen, fuckface, it can go way, way lower, and it's gonna rip your face off on the way down. It's gonna fish hook you, kick you in the nuts, steal your wallet, and knock up your sister. That's just what penny stocks do. And if if you want to get into penny stocks, be prepared to care for that bastard nephew, because that's what happens when you invite penny stocks into your house. Um, yeah, guys, remember when you're reading what Catfish is doing. He has a lot of experience. If you've seen any of his like videos where he's day trading stocks, you have to know what you're doing to do what somebody like him is doing. It's not You can't just start out and put these, but essentially what he's saying is pretty simple. It's just buy and sell orders. You're buying low, you're selling high. But again, the timing, the attention it requires is like second by second, tick by tick. That's how you have to watch these things. I actually believe in the long-term potential of Menden. I mean, Orion Corporation in Europe was selling hundreds of millions of euros per year. The IP is there, the patents are there, the P3 is going to be there. FDA agreed to 6-minute walk test. I know this isn't a 10x video; it's a Jaguar video, but I get a bit far afield. And my concentration isn't what I'm known for. Like I said a few weeks ago, they just brought in an FDA top person to help them advance this. Yeah, and Catfish, they actually Stuart Rich was the CEO and founder of a company called Precision Medical, and he still has a drug that 10x owns called Aminatib, which is another drug for heart failure that they also developed an oral formulation for, and is also P3 ready. But Stuart Rich, when 10x bought out Precision, Stuart Rich came over to 10x, so he's been with the company. Stuart Rich has a reputation in as a medical doctor in terms of heart failure. This area, he's one of the names. I mean, he's one of the big names in this field. Then you got Declan Dugan, who I like saying. He's like from a royal court Scottish physician, but they have some really good people on their executive team and on their board at 10x. Even JAGX has some good people on their board. I think they need fresh management. I've just never seen management fail this spectacularly in terms of the fiscal health of a company, and they somehow just keep their jobs, keep printing shares, keep paying themselves shy. I just don't see it. I don't see how it works, but I guess it's all legal because, as far as I know, nobody's going to prison. People are just buying expensive Christmas gifts down at Neiman Marcus or wherever the fuck these CEOs shop. It's certainly not the big and tall catalogs I receive in the mail. And just as an aside, guys, getting real annoyed with big and tall male models who are just buffed models. They don't even have any fat guys in these catalogs anymore. It's outrageous. How are you going to call yourself king size and then the model is just some like 30-year-old guy who looks like a fucking triathlete? What's that doing for my self-esteem? He's not wearing those dad jeans. He's not wearing those stupid sweatpants. He's certainly not wearing Largos, which is a combination of large and cargos. This guy's out at some swanky thing on a Saturday night. He's not making penny stock videos. Give me somebody I can relate to. Give me somebody frustrated heading through a Jack in the Box drive-through about 2 a.m. ordering some coagulated cheese, bacon, potato wedges or something. I don't know, guys. That really doesn't have anything to do with anything. Um, Good evening, Mark R. Hello and welcome, everybody. Sorry this video is so terrible, but if you don't like it, go do something else. That's what you should have done in the first place if you had any brains. Um, anyway, guys, yeah. To also say they've been using this. Yes, they've been using it actually, Catfish, for like 25 years. There's a company, Orion Corporation. They developed this. They're a Finnish company. They sold this thing all throughout like Poland, Czech Republic, Spain, like southern. It wasn't in like the France and Britain and Germany, but basically throughout the rest of Europe. And they were selling the thing 200 million euros a year, but it was only an IV indication. It was only an IV formulation, Catfish. So everyone who got it had to come in the hospital What 10x did is they developed an oral formulation. They dialed it in, and the FDA agreed to switch between P2 and P3 to their oral formulation. Also, critically agreed to switch the endpoint from a patient questionnaire, subjective type of bullshit, wishy washy deal to the 6 minute walking test, which is much easier. And it's basically already shown in P2 that levosimendan improves the 6 minute walking test in a matter that is very meaningful and is statistically significant according to the FDA guidelines that would allow them to approve this drug. So, there's just a lot going for this thing. It works, and there is absolutely no drugs approved for HPEF. Sorry, guys, this became like a 10x video, but catfish in the house. When you got catfish on your live stream, you stand up and pay attention. So good to see you, catfish. Thanks for stopping by. Um, but yeah, you got to know how to time these things, guys. You got to know how to flip them. You got to know how to play them. And when they pump 5x, 10x, you got to take your shares, cash them out, and then buy back in when the thing crashes again on the next pump and dump. The dump, then often when they pumps, they're going to do an offering. It's going to be a horrible offering that comes and is priced even lower than where the pump started. It goes way down. That's what I'm talking about with 10x. So it falls down to 5.6 and then, 565. And then all of a sudden you find the stock in the 390s. So if you're aggressive, if you're made for this, if you've got the minerals to buy penny stocks when that thing goes under $4, you gotta buy and you gotta wait for that next pump and you gotta time it and you gotta make your money like a thief in the night. Get the fuck out. Catfish knows what I'm talking about. And Mark R does as well. How you doing, Mark R? Good to see you again, sir. I see you have JAGX crap stock we love. No, you didn't miss anything, Mark. There's nothing to miss. My videos are fucking terrible. You don't get any information. Nicholas Youngworth, welcome and hello from Graz. Hello. Where's Graz? Is that sounds like from that movie Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson. Um, how are you? Welcome and hello, good sir. Welcome and hello. Just announced they're going to have an update on stage 3 next week, right? Yes, absolutely. I know everything about 10x catfish. I've talked to people at the company, I've talked to doctors who use it, I've talked to people at Orion. I do people just think I'm an idiot because I look like an idiot and I sound like an idiot and I do stupid stuff all the time. So if you're just looking at like an evidence-based thing, yeah, maybe you would think I'm an idiot, but actually below the surface when I invest in things, I actually intend to make money. I don't like just throwing my money in the garbage, so I tend to, investigate these things in depth. And yes, levosimendan is completely legitimate. This oral formulation could sell a ton of money. Remember, Zacks did an analysis on both levosimendan and aminitab middle of 2023. They said each drug at that point, just P3 ready, was worth $300 million per drug at that time. I think given the patents that have been issued patents on levosimendan for HPEF, they made that indication distinct from other types of heart failure. I used to try to pronounce all the words in HPEF, and somebody finally just said, listen, fuckface, you look stupid. I'm sorry, I used fuckface twice. I'll try to think of some better insults, some better self-deprecating insults. Let me get some water. It's too late to wake up Nautilurker to tell me to drink tap water. So if somebody could remind me to drink water and breathe, I would certainly appreciate it. It would help keep me alive through the rest of the broadcast. But anyway, guys, I'm going to bail out of this turd pretty quick. Who else is here with us? Or however it's spelled, raving all night long at Elevate Festival and watching Poco Boss come down. There you go, man. There's nothing better to bring you down from some Molly, some fun partying, a little Peruvian wham wham than old Danny Deals, the downer himself. The wet blanket, they used to call me at parties. Austria, cool. Austria, awesome. I'm gonna come stay with you. I've always wanted to see the Alps. We'll talk SoFi can introduce me to the local culture. It's going to be wonderful. Me and Princess J were easy house guests. All we need is clean towels, preferably a modern luxury car, our own private wing. We're very easy. Chocolates on my pillow, I prefer that. Of course, I need a private masseuse. There's just a few things, guys. My rider is short; it's like 44 pages. If you've ever worked with Ben Affleck on a film, my writer is just very similar to him, just without the giant forehead, and I actually have talent. So, no offense to Ben Affleck, we're actually very good friends. We had lunch earlier; it was beautiful. Um, anyway, guys, Lunar, do I still consider it a penny stock? After that, what was that thing they fell over? They really screwed retail. That was kind of a 10x situation. I don't really know Lunar that well. I never considered investing it. I always thought it was kind of a scam. I never thought that piece of shit tin can was actually going to land on the moon. So I don't know, Jazor. I'm just not in the stock. I don't know enough about it. You know, we can look it up, I guess. What the hell else do we have to do? So what did this thing do? So 585 market cap. Yeah, market cap 170. I mean, a lot of people say it has to be under $5 to be a penny stock. I don't, that's just semantics. Who cares? It's certainly like a little tiny cap. So what happened? They flew this turd up to the moon, rug pull, right back where it was. I don't know, Jazor. I don't know about this one. Lowest it got looks, $2. Yeah, it came down to 209, high is 20. I don't know. I don't know about this thing. It's just American ingenuity never gives up, risky business, second moon landing, stops working, we kept her tipping over. I think it's still a pretty impressive accomplishment, quite frankly. I think they did a lot better than most people thought, but I would say it's still a penny stock, but what the hell does my opinion matter? I'm just a turd. Um, wife have a 5-year-old daughter. Yes, we heard we spoke with your 5-year-old daughter. What was her name? Celeste? I can't remember. Sorry. But yeah, we were talking to your daughter yesterday, I think. How's it going, Mrs. Mark R and Mini Mark R? I think we were telling her to buy SoFi. Hopefully she picked up a few shares. Catfish Tyler, yeah, the patent is a game changer. Yeah, catfish, and that's what I was going to say. That's what happened with Orion. They were selling the drug very successfully with an IV indication, and their patent ran out in Europe. So, with the renewal of the patents, the oral formulation puts the patents back in play, and 10x has patent protection through 2041, totally locked up. So, if they can get that P3 done in, like, say, 3 years, it should be a slam dunk. They're going to have 15 years of exclusive rights to that drug. So, if they can sell 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, you're talking about billions of dollars in sales, guys. What's up, Rich Singh? How's it going? She didn't. You have to look. Yeah, I will. I will. I've heard about that stock a little bit. Trading at 575, made some good money on the hype. CLSK. Guys, I mean, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Yeah, Celeste, I was right. Yeah, that's a member because that's one of my favorite mini pizzas. I don't know if you named her after that 99-cent mini pizza, but those are pretty good. Have the little the little cardboard disc that has the foil on one side, so when you microwave it, you set it on top of the box and the bottom gets kind of crispy. The top's still soggy and gross. So I doubt you named her after. I doubt you would name your daughter after a 99-cent mini pizza. Doesn't seem logical. But anyway, I digress. The whole show can't be about Mark R and his lovely family. We'd love to just do a profile on him someday. If you've seen those things they do before the Olympics, where they interview the parents. You must get really nervous when your daughter's performing. It's like, yeah, we used to have to drive her from Scrapper Minnesota, down to Folks Hollow, Wisconsin for gymnastics 8 days a week. The missus had a Chrysler minivan with 3 million miles on it. Say you had 3 million miles on that minivan? He's like, yeah, Jim Nance, 3 million miles. Another fascinating story from the Olympic Village. Wasn't interesting at all, Jim Nance. Thank you, sir. You're done. You can move on. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap this thing up. It is kind of spiraling out of control anyway, and really not providing any useful information. I did want to go over JAGX. One of the things you'll note, guys, is just all through December, institutions buying the stock. Like this never happened. These aren't big positions; they're still relatively low stock. But if you look back in January, all the way to from November to December, 0 buys. January, just like 4. And then February, of course, tons of institutional buys coming into the stock. You look at the short interest guys, they're saying it's 10%. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it, guys. I don't know if you're selling that hash. You can sell it to somebody else. You look at the short volumes, they're up 50s, up 60s. And then if you take a look at Ortex, this is what Ortex has been slipping because short interest is showing 4 million, then shares on loan is showing 11 million. And when they put out the filings every 2 weeks on NASDAQ and the other exchanges, they're showing that the shares on loan, the short interest has to catch up. So the shares on loan is increasing, utilization is increased, short score is increased. So if the short is not 4 million, which would be 10% of the float, if it's more 11 million increasing to 12 million, I mean, the short could be more, 25-30% of the free float and 20% of the shares outstanding, which I think is what we're going to see when that data comes out. Rain, where's Kelly for? If you night, yeah, the rain is kind of fun for kids if you're a property manager and you're a chunky monkey and you have to crawl up on roofs and take your life in your hands. Not a good time, Mark. So enjoy your youth, Celeste. It gets harder from here. You got to work. You got to stay in school. Get yourself an advanced degree. Get a PhD in engineering or learn to code. Don't be a fat hammer swinger like Danny Deals. It's a hard life. It's not easy. I'm ready to sit a box, see the next Laker game, and share the SoFi Blue Moon cocktail with you, Hurricane. Yeah, Catfish, let's get us a luxury box with our SoFi millions. I like it. Hi, all. What's up, Lisa? Good to see you. Good comedy. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the Ortex info. Last thing I want to share is February 13th, SoFi was taking out 778 over 45 institutions. Price only dropped to 880. Yeah. Cash is exactly right. Institutions have put in a floor on SoFi, and the shorts have either been unwilling or unable to push it down below those levels. So, we'll just have to see what happens with 10X, ticker symbol TENX. That's a stock I was discussing with Catfish, Lavasa Menden. We'll have to see what happens with JAGX, Jaguar Health, ticker symbol JAGX. P3 data was supposed to come out around Thanksgiving. CEO Lisa said there would be no dilution again until that P3 data came out. Then there was this really strange announcement. They were still blinded. The P3 data wasn't going to come out. Then they said it was going to come out after a follow on study. And all the patients had agreed to go on. So it's very, very strange. Either they didn't understand the structure of their own trial, or there was some change, or it was just a miscommunication, or they were lying. It's still never been clearly explained why the company was so wrong about their own trial. But you know, that's the pitfalls of investing in these companies that are managed and by I would argue I wouldn't say scam artists, but just companies that went public way too early and their executives are not competent fiscal managers, and they do not take their fiduciary duty to shareholders seriously, in my opinion. But I'm not the CEO of anything. I'm just a fat turd on YouTube, jaw jacking and flapping my gums because that's what I do best, guys. But anyway, appreciate you, Catfish. Thanks, Mark R. Appreciate you, sir. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Anybody who was watching this turd, you're a little bit dumber for having been here, but hopefully I passed a few minutes of your life. You can never get those back. I'm married, so JAGX off. That's funny. I'm married, so I JAGX often. The Jaggies, the Jagoffs. It is actually not about self-love. It's not a story about Rosie Palm and her five fingers or five sisters. It's a story about diarrhea, folks. A love story about diarrhea. And I was one of the stupid ones. I bought this company and I just kept chasing the dragon, just kept averaging down. Thought I was going to find the bottom eventually, but sometimes, guys, the light at the end of the tunnel is a train and it runs you over. And you're too stupid and stubborn to learn your lesson. But that's Danny Deals, guys. That's what you get. Thanks for watching the channel. It's Un Poco Moss. We try to give you just a little bit more, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night. Some out.